In the summer of 2006, two young players walked onto the World Cup stage for the very first time. One, a 19-year-old kid from Argentina, the other, a 21-year-old winger from Portugal. Then 20 years went by. 2010, 2014, 2018, 2022, and now 2026. Side by side, both of them are about to play their sixth World Cup. This isn't just impressive, it's unprecedented. No player has ever appeared at 6 different World Cups, not one, in the entire history of the tournament. Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo are about to write that history together. Two players who debuted in the same summer, split football down the middle for 2 decades, and have now arrived at the same final chapter. Today, we're talking about the records they can still rewrite this summer, and the moment, 20 years in the making, when they might finally meet. Let's start with what that number actually means. Within a single week, 2 nations published their squads. Argentina, Messi at the top, Portugal, captain Ronaldo, both confirmed for a 6th World Cup. There's one more name worth mentioning here, Mexico's goalkeeper Guillermo Ochoa. He, too, is in line to join a 6th World Cup squad, but in his earliest tournaments he never actually took the field. Playing in 6 World Cups is the arena that belongs to Messi and Ronaldo. Think about what 20 years really means. Formations change, tactics change, 2 or 3 full generations of teammates rotate through around you. And through all of it, you stay at the very top. How unreal that is, nobody but these two has ever proven. So what can these two still rewrite this summer? Let's start with Messi. Messi already holds the record for most World Cup appearances, 26 matches. Which means every single game he plays this summer extends his own record. The same goes for minutes played, 2,314, also the most in history. But the truly interesting records are the ones still unbroken. First, the all-time scoring record. Messi has 13 World Cup goals. The all-time leader is Miroslav Klose, with 16. So if Messi scores for this summer, he passes Klose to become the highest scoring player in World Cup history. For goals at 38 isn't a given, but we all watched him score 7 in a single tournament in Qatar. Second, goal contributions. Messi already holds the record for the most combined goals and assists in World Cup history. Every goal or assist he adds this summer simply pushes his own mark higher. Third, maybe the two most symbolic of all. If Argentina win, Messi becomes the first player ever to lift 2 World Cups as captain. Meazza, Bellini, Cafu, Passarella, plenty of greats won 2 World Cups, but every one of them captained their side in only one of those wins. Even Pelé and Maradona never did it. Messi would be the first. And if Argentina reached the final, it would be his third, 2014, 2022, and 2026, making him the second player ever to appear in 3 World Cup finals. The only man to do it before is Brazil's Cafu, in 1994, 1998 and 2002. So Messi wouldn't be first here, he'd be drawing level with a legend. One more, Messi has scored at 4 different World Cups so far, 2006, 2014, 2018, 2022. 1 goal in 2026 makes it 5, pulling him level with a record held by his eternal rival. And that rival has his own piece of history to chase this summer. Cristiano Ronaldo, 41 years old. He left elite European football for Saudi Arabia long ago, and when CNN asked him directly if 2026 would be his last World Cup, he didn't blink. Definitely, yes. Champions Leagues, Ballon d'Or trophies, a European Championship with Portugal in 2016, he has nearly everything. The one trophy that has eluded him for 20 years is the World Cup. But even if that trophy stays out of reach, one near-mythical record sits right in front of him. Ronaldo is the only player in history to have scored at 5 different World Cups, 2006, 2010, 2014, 2018, 2022, and 5 in a row at that. Score just once in 2026, and he becomes the first human being ever to score at 6 World Cups, a record that may never be broken. There's an age record in play, too. If he scores, Ronaldo becomes the second oldest goalscorer in World Cup history, behind only Roger Milla, who was 42 years and 39 days old. And then there's the number that defines his whole career, 143 international goals. The most any man has ever scored for his country, and a record that'll keep climbing this summer. At the World Cup specifically, he sits on 22 appearances and 8 goals. The only Portuguese player ahead of him on that scoring list is the legendary Eusebio, with 9. So here's the shape of it. Messi is chasing the all-time scoring record and 2 titles as captain. Ronaldo is chasing a goal at a 6th straight World Cup. 2 players rewriting the record books at the same time, one last summer. We may never see this again. And yet, in all of this, there's one thing that has never happened in 20 years. Messi and Ronaldo have never faced each other at a World Cup, not a single minute. The 2 players who defined the same era have never once stood on the same pitch on the biggest stage of all. The reason is simple: groups and the bracket. Argentina are in Group J, Portugal in Group K, different groups, so they can't meet in the group stage. For them to collide, both have to reach the knockouts. And here's the interesting part: which round they'd meet in depends entirely on where each finishes in their group. If both win their groups, the most likely scenario, they'd clash in the quarterfinals. If both finish second, the bracket pulls them together earlier, in the round of 16. But if one wins and the other finishes second, they split to opposite halves of the draw, and the only place they could meet is the final. A first ever meeting, 20 years in the making. That might just be a World Cup final. You couldn't script it. The catch is brutal, though. Every one of those scenarios needs 2 aging legends to survive a full month of knockout football: Messi carrying a hamstring scare, Ronaldo defying every timeline at 41. The bracket has only unlocked the door. Walking up to it is on them. The football world is treating this like the event it is. Coverage of the 2026 tournament has already leaned into the final battle of the GOAT's framing, with entire features built around this single what-if. Fans are still split along the old tribal lines, but for once, almost united in one wish: just give us the game. Even neutrals who never picked a side are quietly hoping the draw cooperates. It's a piece of history that can never be replayed. Pundits are more measured. For the fixture to even happen, both sides have to survive a savage knockout run, and for all of Ronaldo's records, Portugal aren't the favourites, Argentina are. And there's the caveat hanging over both icons: if their bodies hold. This dream tie only exists if 2 veterans are still standing at the end. 20 years ago, 2 young players walked onto the world stage in the same summer and accidentally split football in 2. And in 2026, for the first time ever, they line up for a 6th World Cup together. One is chasing the scoring record and 2 titles as captain. One is chasing a goal at a 6th straight World Cup. And somewhere in that knockout bracket, 2 careers that have dodged each other for 20 years might finally collide. First time, last time. A summer like this doesn't come around twice.